Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture. Today we're going over the Nashville-based trio band called Coin and their fourth album called Uncanny Valley. So this is an album I was really excited about to hear what's going to happen, and due to the fact that I have a very light relationship with them. Like, I've listened to their first album that came out in 2020 or 2015, and I liked it. It was around that era where I was kind of feeling I was already into that type of like indie rock kind of sound. And then they came out with How Will You Know If You Never Try, and that got me even more into them. So I liked Talk Too Much and Malibu 1992 and and then Boyfriend. So I really like those ones. I really in my head I was like, okay, I need to get into the next one and see what happens. Dreamland comes out, and I did not review it, but I did listen to it because I wasn't really sure entirely what I was getting to, and also I was I'm a very light fan. So, of course, when I got into it, Dreamland, I did like Valentine a lot. And so I was like, okay. And then Green, Blue, plus Indigo Violet came out, and for some reason I just didn't really feel it. There wasn't a single that was pulling me in like the other albums. So I didn't really have a thing of feeling like I wanted to get into it. So I skipped it, honestly. And then, of course, here we are with Uncanny Valley, which has had a lot of singles coming with it, and I have to the point where I was like, when is this album coming out? But here it is. It's finally here, and I'm so excited to review it. This album has a huge message. It talks about the idea of what's it like to be human in an increasing digital world. And so in that direction, they pretty much take the idea of that and make themselves the robot that's exploring the world outside of the digital world. And so we kind of just go through they go through a ride with him, kind of exploring his self and try to be more, wants to learn about love, wants to learn to be real and not be a digital copy of himself. So the themes touch on disconnection, infatuation, and existential crisis. So it's pretty intense. But actually, I should say, it sounds intense, but it really isn't. It's not that intense. But they definitely, it seems like, for what I understood, they lean into this idea of kind of making it more like a sci-fi kind of film, where it has that kind of thing where it's just like, the creature goes out, or the robot goes out and tries to be human, and then things doesn't really go as well as it planned, or he falls in love, or whatever could happen, and then things kind of fall flat, or it works out in the end, whatever. It's this album completely runs with that so nicely. So, like I usually do, the band consists of three people. So we have Chase Lawrence, who is the lead vocalist. We have Ryan Winnan, who is the drummer, and then we have Joe Memel, who is the lead guitar and backing vocals. We got a good situation going with them. So let me go into it. I'm pretty much going to review the whole thing because I want to get the whole idea of what this album means. So we kick off with the first song called Learning. Very short intro, and it's just him talking about him feeling like he's like, I want to learn about love. I want to learn what's it like to be loved. And so he says, he's like, there's no algorithm for intuition, but I am learning to love. I'm learning to trust. Maybe I'm more than zeros and ones. Throw out the logic and follow my gut. I'm ready to jump. I'm coming unplugged. I'm learning to love. So this is him unplugging himself to be more in the real life and try to learn that direction. Not only for learning love, but also maybe learning what it's like to be in a real life and in real life, pretty much. Then we go into this weird space because I remember writing this all down, and Cutie was the second song to this album, and then it goes Chapstick. But for some reason, I don't know what happened. It's the other way around. And it's funny because I looked up the lyrics, and the lyrics I look up pretty much on the website is the same way that I wrote it down. So I don't know what's going on because Spotify has it reversed, where Chapstick is the second song and Cutie is the third song. But we're going to go in order how it goes. But pretty much Chapstick comes in next. And this one talks about the idea of the computer experiencing his first kiss. And so he talks about the idea, the direct direction of what this song is about is the idea of an unnatural, when something unnatural comes into contact with something natural. So, and this one is pretty much he's experiencing his first kiss. He's really, really likes it. He says, "I just want to taste your chapstick. I lost control to alt delete and alt delete." So it seems like this is a full thing. He's feeling it. It's great. We go into Cutie, where it talks more of just like falling in love and finding that love and just how much he really loves this person. Apparently it's a very short-lived situation because it goes into Take a Picture, where it talks about the idea of leaving somebody without any regrets. And the production's amazing. The song talks about that pretty much, but it goes pretty brutal. Like, it goes like, tell me you'll regret it and I'll be apathetic for days. I'm fine by that. And then he ends it by saying, "Take a picture, you're gonna miss this." And then pretty much just the idea, just like he has no remorse or anything from leaving the situation. He's very cool with it. But the piece that you think like, oh, you're being kind of mean. Like, what else could that really be? How could that really be? Like, what really hurt you this bad? Or what could happen? But it seems like in his space, he's realizing that he sees that he is doing it for himself. So it says, like, because there's a part he says, he says in a robotic sound, showing search results for, is it selfish to love yourself? Very, very interesting and very, very interesting topic. So I really love the production. The production and the whole thing is really good. If I'm talking about production, it's pretty much going to be because some of the sounds are different and there's some experimental sound in this album as well. Going to one of my favorite songs off this album, Brad Pitt. This one talks about the idea of just wanting this person to make them feel alive. What's his love interest to make them feel alive? And the production is so nice. I love it. I love it just sounds like, it has this like kind of, it has like a gritty sound to it. Kind of sounds very basement kind of sound. Basement hip hop, not hip hop, why don't I say hip hop, but that kind of like bass, like, it's still developing kind of sound and kind of gritty sound that I really, really like. This one just talks about that. Just like, I want you to make me feel alive. When he says, "I'm losing my grip, you pull me back, young forever." I love the chorus. I think the chorus is so catchy. And it swings so nicely from the pre-chorus and the verse. It's the perfect connect. This song is almost perfect. It's so good. It's a really good song. Killing Me is the next song. So now we're going from Take a Picture, I Don't Really Care What You Think, to Brad Pitt, Please Make Me Feel Alive, to now we're going to, he's worried that she doesn't love him anymore. And this song is called Killing Me. And this song pretty much goes by, he's saying like, "Can I hear you say it all night for me? Because I feel like you're falling out of love more and more, and it's been killing me." Then it goes into, "Hit me right where it hurts and leave me there to die." That's right. And I think this song is very catchy. And it's also low-key upbeat, but it has that kind of thing where it makes you can feel that he's like, okay, this is kind of slipping out of my hands. I really am nervous about where this is going. Then we go into the next song, which is a very, very 90s inspired, called "I Think I Met You in a Dream." So Chase actually heard this song in his dream. So he wrote it down and did all this stuff to make it one, and now it's his favorite song that they've released. So this song pretty much talks about the idea of just being in love with this person. Just like, "I think I met you in a dream." He's like half a mind to take it slow, but when you know, you know. And it goes to, I think I met you in a dream. The way you move is like a distant memory." So it seems like he's met this person, just makes him feel like, oh my God, I feel like we're so connected, we're so close, or I see you and it feels like I've met you before. I feel like this connection is way past than what I feel right now. Excuse me. Going into the next song called Black Box. This one is a very short song. It's pretty much, I'm still breaking it down entirely what it means, but it seems like what he's saying is that he is finally feeling like the real him. He says, like, there's no feeling in my chest. I'm too calm for common sense. It's the real life me. I want to hold you till I'm older. I just want to get her to cry on my shoulder. So it seems like he wants her to be in this love with him in that situation, and I think it's really cool. I think it's nice. Very short song. I felt like it's so short that I didn't really get to connect entirely to feel what it feels like, but I'm guessing that's kind of what it is. Going into the next song, It Works. So this one is going on the flip side of things. So now it went from things are going well, things are going shitty, things are making me worried. Now I'm back in love again, but now we're in this space. Like, the one thing I don't care for this album is that there's pieces of it where it just randomly pops out of nowhere when it has a course. It's going through the right course of what it's doing, and then it'll have a song or two that just like, and it's like, oh, what does that mean? What is that connected to that, you know? So I'm not really crazy with the order of some of these songs that pop out of nowhere, but I do still see the message that's going through the whole thing. So we go into It Works, and this one talks about the idea of this relationship going further downhill, and it's talking about the idea of that it seems like they're now in a space where they're going through the motions, and they're having a situation where it's just like they're crying and they're fighting and they're having all these things that's going on, but it seems like they're trying to, but when it happens, they immediately try to sugarcoat over it to make it seem like it's not that big of a deal. This is not that bad. This is not that bad. This is not that bad. But what comes to happen is that it seems like he starts to get tired of that going through emotions and knowing that he says, just because it works doesn't mean it's not broken. And so he kind of is just thinking about it. He's like, what do I do when we are going through the motions and just twisting and just twist in the night? So it seems like they pretty much, through the daytime, it's just a motion thing. At night, maybe they have sex or whatever, but it just doesn't really feel like there's nothing really exciting to look forward to. And then he says, you want to cry, baby, cry, and we call it love. And so it seems like it seems like the partner wants to, or the love interest wants to is kind of okay with the craziness that's going on with them, and still wants to kind of keep it going in that direction. So, but I do like the sound, the production, really great, of course. There's nothing too special, but it's really, really good. Take the Stairs. This one is a very interesting song. This one talks about the idea of releasing yourself from control. And I feel like in this one it gets a 2-hitter. So it's talks about the idea of understanding that you can't control everything, and there's always and if this happens this way, go this way. Let's all try to find a different direction to go to instead of being stuck in a space that you just feel shitty that you can't control anything. He says, what's the point of having control? And then he's like, oh my God, who cares? If the lift is broken, take the stairs. And it seems like in that space, he's like, yeah, if this doesn't work, find a different route. Because there's always a different route you can go to. It's better to find a different route than being stuck in that space. And he goes on saying that by saying, everyone got a second guess, but no one wants to call it off. No one wants to release from what they already have to try a new direction. It seems like that they want to control this direction that they know it's not working, or working out is not going the way they want to. They want to force more control on it instead of saying, okay, this route didn't work, let's just go somewhere else. And because it's an idea of kind of moving forward. And then he goes, I've got shoes, you got feet. If they fit, then we'll dance in the street. So I think after coming out from It Works, I think he's realizing in this space that he does understand. He is kind of taking love for what it is. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If we match, we match. If we don't, we don't. So if we match, we'll dance in the street. If we have the shoes and feet that match together, we'll dance in the street together. Um, Very mature direction. I think it's great. I feel like that made me feel like, okay, we're going somewhere of learning lessons and everything's going fine. Then we go into getting older, where it talks about the idea of a love interest who's too insecure to love him and kind of take him face front. So he's kind of just moving on. He's like, I'm getting older, I'm getting wiser, I'm getting out of the way. And so there's another part, blah, blah, blah. He says, uh, I know, but he understands why she feels that way. He gets it. He's not upset about her at all in this whole song. He's like, I know it's not your heart, but it's your head that's getting in the way. And I know you're stuck on something I never said. So it seems like she has a lot of trauma and a lot of insecurities that are really piling up to where they can't really move on in their relationship. And they can't really officially be in a relationship because there's so much speed bumps that keep happening, especially coming from her side. So he's thinking, he's like, okay, maybe you just need more time to figure this out, and I'm just gonna move out of the way, because time is too short to kind of sit back and just wait for somebody to kind of get out of that space. Not all the time, sometimes. Then we go into watering a dead flower. So this one low-key kind of scared me because it starts off with like a good morning computer or something like that, and then it just hits you with the explosive production, and it's insane. It's very 90s production, of course, and I love it. It's nice to hear that 90s rock is kind of being influenced in things nowadays. It's kind of cool. This one talks about the idea of him feeling, I think, is him feeling dead inside and with no direction. So now he's kind of feeling this way where he's just like kind of lost. And he says, eyes improve, but nothing ever seems to change. If I move now, I'm watering a dead plant. And then he goes into, I'm like a tourist running through my own brain, buying more love like a souvenir, but nothing seems to change. So it seems like he's now, after experiencing all that love and all that hurt, he's lost. He's in this space just like, well, what do I do now? Because this is a very new feeling for me as a computer. And so all this real life is very overwhelming and very intense. And so I'm just kind of lost and kind of just dead emotionally inside kind of thing. So, and this is where it kind of goes downhill. So then we goes into Plug Me In, which is what's completely shocked me when I heard it, because I was like, oh no, he's plugging himself in. Like, what happened? So pretty much, yeah, he's opened himself to love, had all this whole experience, and he decides that it's better to be plugged in than to feel this again. So he's pretty much just, it feels like it's a lot of emotional vomit. It's just expressing how much he's experienced and how much it hurt him. So he goes, a message to my young self. The future isn't what they tell you. Once you grow up, you don't come back down, so plug me in. Heaven is a moving target. Heaven is a place I'll never know. I don't want to sit in silence, so plug me in. So he feels like there's no chance of him finding another love or finding love again, so he just feels like it's better to kind of plug myself back into the computer and not feel this thing again. I feel like that's the end of the actual narrative of this computer, which is sad that it ends that way. But I feel like the last song, Loving, is a message, like a epilogue in a way, like kind of telling you just like it kind of reminds me of Romeo and Juliet when they end it with the whole, so this is what happens, and so you have to understand, here's the lesson of what this means, blah blah blah. I feel like this is what it's saying. So it says, like, open your eyes. Sometimes it's right when it's wrong, sometimes it's wrong when it's right. And he's still in a space where he's like, I want to feel what's real. He's still looking for love. He still wants to feel that feeling. It's okay. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like that's what you're saying. He still wants to feel that feeling. And then he goes into, open your mind. It's better to try to move on than trying to rewind. Sometimes a little heartbreak, it can look like a sunrise. I'm living a life, but nothing isn't working. Something isn't working out. So he feels like there's a connection that's not connecting, and he's not really sure where it is, what it is. It's just in his head, is like, what is it? I don't understand. And I feel like in this situation, it's still a lesson in nodding to itself, saying like, sometimes love works, sometimes love doesn't work. It's not in your control to whether it's going to work. And then on the same time, sometimes with the idea of like, sometimes one door closed, another door's open kind of thing. So maybe a nod to you saying that there's still a space to where you can still feel again, even after heartbreak, even after love feels like it's nowhere connected anymore. It's, as long as you keep your eyes open and your heart open and your mind open, you will find love again. Love will come right knocking right back at your door. I feel like that's what it's saying to me about it. I love this album. I love how it really, really digs into the idea of this robot experiencing love for the first time and trying to get into that mind space and really going hard for it. Like, he really runs into love and falls right into it and gets his heart broken and everything, but it's what an experience to feel in that direction. And it definitely is to ask the question, what does it mean to be human in an increasingly digital world, is pretty much is to get yourself outside of that digital world and try to find yourself in that direction, because it's better to feel that something than not to kind of avoid it and never feel it again kind of thing. I feel like that's what it means. I feel like that's answering that question. I give this I was going to give it a 9 out of 10 because of some of the songs that jumped out of nowhere, but I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I really appreciate this whole ride, and it never came, it's not often I come to an album where I'm just like, I'm shocked over the narration and how it ends and just how it goes. Like, I'm like honed in. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you've seen these guys live, let me know. If you have a favorite song off this album or any other albums, like if you could say which one's your favorite album, is it this one? Is it the other ones? Please let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.